This conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Thank you. All right. What about the volume?
Oh. I don't have to turn it on.
Let's leave it alone.
Okay. Stop talking.
Uh-uh. Woo, everybody excited? It is a whole new world in terms of thinking about this. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Marilyn. You've seen me definitely via lots of emails, text messages. However, for those of you who don't know Karen Dotson, I know many of you have talked with her. And those who don't know, this is my husband, who's our third person in here, who's the silent partner, which is about the only time he's silent, Dr. Kenneth Robinson. So we're excited. So just as a reminder, we are calling on the Majestic Princess. It's one of the largest ships that are out there. It's 3,600 passengers of capacity. Just launched in 2017, so still a very new ship. And we're really excited. They've gotten really great reviews for it and what we're doing. Cruise schedule, just as a reminder, we leave on the 27th of December, which means we got to get out of the States by the 25th. I think everybody has figured that out by now. Kind of remembering where we're going in terms of all of the cities that we're going to be seeing. What's the matter? I'm standing in front of the screen. Is this better?
In the way.
The other way was better?
I can see you.
You can see. Thank you, Benjamin. So you all tell me, is this better? Is this okay? Okay. Okay, see. Okay, all right. So in terms of where we're going, our cities in New Zealand, we've got 3 places that we're going to in New Zealand. This Fiordland National Park is supposed to be absolutely phenomenal. And as you'll see, that's where we actually will spend New Year's Day. So that New Year's Eve, we're going to be moving into that area in New Zealand and seeing this amazing national park. And then we'll do 2 days at sea, moving into Tasmania and then into Australia at that point. Another day at sea, Melbourne, which is another big city in Australia, and ending in Sydney, Australia, and we'll get in at 6 a.m. So just kind of looking at the map and kind of seeing where we are, we're going to bring in 2020 on the other side of the world. Woo! Amazing thought, isn't it? I'm telling you, I'm excited. So how are we going to get there? Good question. How are we going to get there? We're going to cruise. We are, but we got to get to the cruise ship first. So, okay, so on the plane, we're now 300 days away. We actually have looked at a variety of options. We've had really good a success before with some of these group contracts with American, with United. For those of you with us to China, we did Air Canada, so you know that we're open to anybody who's got a good deal. What we found was, when you look at the prices with this is from Memphis, because that's what the largest group. And for group travel, you have to have at least 10 people minimum. You can see the United's was $26.88, Americans was $29.47. The group contracts require an immediate $200 deposit, $100 which is non-refundable, and they have limited flexibility in terms of how many people could come early, how many people could stay late. So we then called Princess, because sometimes the cruise lines are the most expensive ones and the most difficult. This is our first real cruise on Princess. And I was so pleasantly surprised when we called them, because they've got something that they call Easy Air, and it really is easy. We booked a number of you on this. The prices actually were less than what we could get with our group contract. It was much more flexible in that you don't have to pay anything down, that you're paying for it during the period of time. Last day to pay is, oh, thank you. That's cute. Last day to pay is September 15th. So up until that time, we can just pay on it. You can go online and pay. You can call them and pay on it, and you can change, you can cancel. So for those of you who are still looking at whether or not the prices might go down, which is always a possibility, let me just say, this was as of February 19th, and the prices have gone up since that date. So to just give you some idea, so we wanted to make sure that people started looking at this seriously. There is no downside to doing this, and it does not stop you from continuing to look on whatever you'd like to do. Any questions about that first? Let me just ask that for those of you who are, Sandra? Now, so you would just go onto princess.com, and actually all you do is put in your billing number, and it will let you pay on your airfare. Well, you can call them and they will give them the billing number, and they'll help you with it. No, they are the ones who had the maximum. It was the group travel that had the minimum, the limited flexibility. So the question was, they have, oh, good. Absolutely. That's what was so wonderful about it. So
you can extend as long as you want with Princess Air. The other great thing about them is that they allow you, if you decide I'm going to book with Princess Air, it's called Flexible Air because it allows you to cancel, make changes without penalty. So even if you lock in right now at these rates, which many people have, you can continue to monitor rates outside of Princess or within. If it goes down, you just rebook it, and it's no cost to do that if you're with Princess Air. Rebook it at the lower rate. Even if you find something outside with Delta outside or some other airfare that's lower than what we're showing with Princess, you just call Princess, cancel your airfare, no penalty. So they do have both Delta.
So the question was, is there an option to do Delta Comfort, business class, whatever?
And yes, you are allowed to do that. You are allowed to do comfort, economy, whatever you choose. Sorry. You can do it, but you are not allowed to do certain statements. So like if you were buying from American or someone directly, you can say, I just want to buy the economy seats for the long leg of the flight. They do not allow that with Princess. You have to have the entire thing.
Reverend Marilyn,
Yes.
Can you repeat that dialogue for everyone that's online?
Okay. Where's your mic? The mic. Okay. So the question was regarding upgrading of your seats if you are with Princess Airlines. You can only purchase at the business level or the economy comfort level for the entire trip. They do not allow you to buy segments with Princess Airlines, but you can do upgraded seats at an additional cost. Okay.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, the rates that are on the PowerPoint. The question is whether the rates that are on the PowerPoint, what is the location? That is from Memphis to and from our trip. We can quote you from your destination city, or you can contact Princess Airlines directly to get a cost for your originating location. So,
the December 24th and 9th, but then when I look at December
25th.
to the 9th,
Yes.
it's a little bit more. I didn't understand.
That is based on the question is regarding the rates that are on the PowerPoint. First of all, these rates are no longer valid. This was as of the date that we did. But like any air travel that we have, it is based on the time that you select the travel, and the rates may vary based on time, based on dates, based on originating city.
Right. Right. So some days of the week are more expensive, others are less expensive. It just depends. So we wanted to give you an idea of how much it cost used on that particular day when we were booking. So how do we do this with Princess? You can call them. You can go online. You all will get the PowerPoint. We will send this out to everybody. You just tell them you want to book it and give them your booking number. Where is your booking number? It's on your invoice. Just look, if you have a trouble with it, let us know, but it is on your invoice. You can always call us or email us if you need some assistance with it. Let me just say, whether you book it with Princess or you book directly makes no difference to us personally. There is no commission on airfares. So, we just want to help you get the best price possible. That's our goal, best value, and that's what we want to say. So once you book, if you book it on Princess, your airfare is then combined with your reservation, and you can start making those payments. So just very, very simple.
That's not working. Okay. Are there any questions online? Please send a text or chat message, and we're asking for questions here and then.
I will ask the questions, and no one has any questions online as of yet, but I'll ask them out loud if we do.
Okay, thanks. So, okay. Yes. So yes, you will make your. The question was, can they just pay Light and Life like they've been doing? Go ahead. And the answer is yes. If you book your air travel through Princess, it automatically sends Reverend Marilyn and myself a confirmation of your flight information. It also automatically tags your rate to your cost. So I know what your updated cost is for your particular room. So when you receive your next statement from me, those of you who have already confirmed through Princess Airline, you will see that there is now a line that says airfare on it as well. And so it is just combined, and you just continue to make your regular payments like you have been, and it must be, everything will be paid in full by September the 15th, including your air travel. So just as a kind of a understanding of what Princess Easy Air offers, it's competitive, it's flexible, it's refundable. So it's got several of the things that you really want that you can't get really you cannot get that from the group contract. And you certainly can't do it if you book it directly, because you book it directly, you pay it right then. Am I right? Okay. And they really don't care after 24 hours what you found. There are no change fees. Up until 45 days before our departure. So you got to, we leave in December, so really beginning of November. After that you can't change. They also have what they call a late arrival protection plan if you book through Princess. So which means that they will reroute you to the next appropriate port if your flight is delayed or canceled at no extra cost. So that's the other really nice piece that's already established within the Princess Air program. Now, if you buy your tickets directly, and some of us have, please make sure that your schedule falls within these guidelines. For embarkation, to get into Auckland, they want you to say that the latest flight arrival should be 3 hours and 30 minutes before the ship's departure. Your flight should not be scheduled to come in any later than that. So that's 4:30 p.m. So if you're booking your own, make sure that it is no later than 4:30 p.m. and that's cutting it close. So if you got a flight, try to get in the morning. For disembarkation in Sydney, if you are leaving directly and not spending any additional time in Sydney, the ship gets in at 6 a.m. So you should not book a flight that leaves Sydney before 11 a.m. So kind of in terms of what the parameters are with all of that. And so now if if this doesn't work for you and something happens, Princess wants to make sure you know that they're not responsible. Is this what's the matter? My arm? Okay. Okay. All righty.
Question.
All right. So in terms of hotels, because many of us would love to see a little bit of Auckland before the ship leaves, and definitely want to see some of Sydney before we get back on the plane. So we have, absolutely. So we actually have decided to make a contract with a couple of hotels, and we tried to find hotels that were really close by the major attractions in those cities, so that we don't have to you can walk to many of the places. So in Auckland, we found a 4 Point Sheraton Hotel. It's got 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor and Booking.com and all of those, hotels.com. The contract we have starts on the 26th of December, but it can be extended up to 3 days before the cruise. So you get the same pricing that we have, which is about $200 per night per room. Did I push it again? This is really sensitive. Okay. That hotel has free Wi-Fi, refrigerators in the room, easy to do, and it's fairly new, as you can kind of see from the picture. So I thought that would work. Now, Princess also has hotels, and so if you'd like to use what they've got, we're fine with that too. They're more expensive, but certainly is an option for you. We're good with, again, whichever way you want to do. So that's that. You want to say something?
So as Marilyn stated, Princess does have a hotel. It's called the Cordis Auckland Hotel. That rate is $738 for a night. So I didn't bother to even put it on the PowerPoint. I think it's going to stay with us at the 4 Points Sheraton. They're cracking up online. So, and this also allows for a double occupancy. Many of the hotels in New Zealand as well as Sydney, when they say double occupancy, they mean 2 people in the room because their beds are twin beds. This hotel, their double occupancy is what we're used to, 2 queen beds in a room. And that is also the reason why we selected this hotel, because other locations, the rate might have been a little better, but if they said twin, they meant twin, a twin bed, a twin bed. And so if there are people, and we have at least 3 families with children that are traveling with us, they needed the opportunity for actual double beds. And some of you might decide you want to increase the number to reduce your rate in your room, because we got a lot of family members traveling. So we wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable if they're doing more than 2 people in a room. And so that's what this hotel allows us to do.
We have a question in the room.
But are you sure that it says double
I'm
occupancy, that
positive.
they will not charge for an additional person?
No.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
that happened to me not too long ago.
Yeah, so
So the
when I-
question is, are we sure that if it says double occupancy, they don't charge for an additional person?
And the answer is no, they're not. We sent and told them 4 people, 4 adult people in a room, and give us a quote for that. And that's what they gave us a quote on. This does not include breakfast, and it does not include your taxes before your room. This is just the base rate that they were giving us for their hotel in Auckland. And the same for the next one when we go to the next one.
So you have a question from the online audience?
You got a question?
Yes, the question is, will the hotel handle the transfer to the ship, or is that on the responsibility of the individual?
So y'all heard the question out here. The question was about transfer from the airport to the ship and vice versa. So the transportation fee that is on your reservation, we did not change that because regardless as to what you're traveling, because you're either going to go from the airport to the ship or to the hotel. That is enough money to cover whichever way you're doing, whatever you're doing. So if you're doing airport to ship and ship to airport, that $58 per person will cover that. Or if you are doing a trip, the extension, it will be enough to cover from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel, from the hotel to the ship, and all of that, vice versa. So we did not change those fees.
That's only if you stay at the hotels that we've come from here.
Correct.
And people, you just say, I don't want to stay at either one of these, I go somewhere else, that's fine. You just need to taxi.
And we will refund you the $58 transportation. Okay.
In Sydney, we looked at this hotel called the Sydney Harbor Marriott Hotel, which is considered a 5-star hotel. Again, free Wi-Fi, refrigerators in the room. We were looking for some of those things so that that would be an easy thing for people to be able to maintain. That one is $290 a night per room. And again, there are some people who are staying through January the 11th. And so that gives it, they will honor that rate up until that date.
Again, this is the hotel, one hotel that we were able to identify that has the double queen beds, because again, and we're going to show you a couple others that are a little less expensive, that has that twin only in case you elect to do this. This one, it is in walking distance of all major attractions within the inner city area. You will not have to take a taxi or others. But the next 2 that we're going to show you, it's still in the harbor area, but to get some of the major attractions, you might decide you don't want to walk. You will definitely need to take a taxi cab or some. There are versions of Uber or Lyft to the closer destinations.
So this is
Oh, yeah.
this is one other. Go ahead.
So the West Hotel, it is a newer Hilton hotel. It is closer to the inner city as well, but it's not directly in the center of all major attractions. This is a 2 people only hotel for sure. So no 4 people can get in any of these rooms at the hotel. And the rate is 2 people per room and $225 a night plus your taxes for that particular one. It's a very nice Hilton. And then as for a season, it is the one that Princess Cruise Line. We wanted to show you what they were offering. Again, this is the Princess Hotel. Their rate was $498, but per night for 2 people only as well. So there you go.
About hotels.
We have a question. That was in Auckland.
Yes, that's Auckland. Now you're not, unless you're going back there. So yeah.
I'm just trying to.
No. So Auckland. The question was, did the first hotel also extend through what was it, January 11th? But that's Auckland. But what we did do was 3 days before for that one. So if you wanted to come earlier and spend more time in Auckland, you could at that same rate. Good.
So before you move on, you have a question online.
Okay, what's the question?
So can you provide further clarification as it relates to the transportation to the ship from these hotels? You talked about a $58 fee that people were charged, but if I stay at these hotels, is it my responsibility to get from the hotel to the ship, or is that covered by the transfer?
That rate, the question was, will they handle their transportation themselves, even though we have the $58, or whether or not we were handling? The answer is we are handling that transportation because we're all going to the same hotel. We will contract with a bus company to pick up our group at the airport, transfer you to the hotel. A bus will pick us up at the hotel, take us to the ship, and vice versa when we come back in. But you must be staying. It's still
So there's only one way to get on the ship.
multiple days. Even if you're staying if you're leaving on the 8th or the 9th or the 10th, whatever day you're leaving leaving our hotel that we contracted with, there will be a van to take you to that hotel. I mean, back to the airport.
So what? So if I stay at one of these 4 hotels, then my transfer from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel to the ship is covered.
You are staying at the final contracted hotel. So we're in 4 Points Hotel in Auckland. There will be a bus transfer available from the airport to the hotel, and as well as from the hotel to the ship. It is covered with that $58. We are making those arrangements. Regardless of the day that they're coming in, we are covering the transportation with that. We are making the Light and Life Travel will make your transportation for you. If you stay at any other hotel other than 4 Points Sheraton on arrival day, then that transportation will not be available through us. You will need to make taxis.
Yeah, people coming in on different days. I thought they were coming from the airport, though. I thought that was their. Okay. All right.
I get it.
All right. And so that's the answer.
Okay, I think you can move forward.
Okay, no. The question was if they're leaving Sydney, there was a question here. So regardless of which day within that period of time they leave Sydney, going to the airport, we'll have the transportation arranged. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So the Sydney Harbor Marriott is the one that we're contracting with. The other hotels that you could look at is the West Hotel, which is a Hilton. And we realize that people have, memberships and loyalties and all of that, and you got points. And so that's why at least wanted to make sure you knew we understood that. And the other one is the Four Seasons.
We're not contracting with the Four Seasons. That's Princess. We just want to see the rate for the Four Seasons.
We will send you the PowerPoint.
Yes,
Those of you who are curious, it's good.
Yeah. So we don't send it first because we take into account what you're asking so that when we send this out, it'll have the responses.
That's assuming you have a program.
We send it as a
Yeah. Okay. So further clarification, in Auckland, we have one hotel that we're contracting with. That is 4 Points Sheraton. That's the only hotel that we are contracting. That's the only one that we will be providing to and from transportation. In Sydney, we have 2 hotels that we will, depending on the number, because we have to have at least 10 rooms to consider it a group rate. So if everybody elects to go to the Marriott, then we will not have a contract at the West. If we have 10 that want to be at the West and 10 at the Marriott, then we will have 2 contracts and we will provide transportation to and from those hotels. But if we only do the Marriott, then, and that's the only one that we might do because it allows for 4 people. And so if we do not have 10 people trying to get into the West, then we will not have a contract there and we will only do the Marriott. Okay. within the next week. Because we have to tell them. So you will need to let us know. Those of you who are traveling from other locations, I need for you to email me and say, I'm wanting to do an extended day or 2 days in Sydney or whichever, so that I will know how many extra rooms. And we have to finalize our contracts with these hotels next week by the next Saturday. So we can add, but we can't subtract. The other thing we need to know that the rooms also must be paid in advance. So when you tell me that I'm extending by 3 days or I'm extending by 2 days, then I'm going to put on your contract, on your invoice, a bill for the 2 nights that you're saying, so that you can have that all paid off by September the 15th, like everything else. So that's the way it will work.
All right. Great. All right.
Before you go forward, you have another question.
What's the question?
So the question is, do you know the current rate via Princess Air, or how do I find out what the current rate is for Princess Air?
They whoever that is, give us a call. Please email us, and we can help you understand that from wherever you are. We can get that to you. All right, travel insurance. Somebody please say travel insurance. Now, if you don't mind, look at the person next to you and say, get travel insurance. We have really, on one of our trips last year, even though we stress travel insurance, we stress it. We had one family and they said, nope, don't need travel insurance. We're going in 2 days early. We're not going to miss the ship. Not going to be a problem for us. And the mother of the group had a stroke, which meant the family of 4 did not go on the cruise. So then they said, well, because we were in the hospital, will they refund our money? What do you think the answer was? Correct. They do not refund you. What they did, we begged and pleaded, and they finally did refund them their taxes and port charges. And then gave them a credit to a future cruise. Yes, but they had to use within 1 year. So this is a lot of money. Everybody needs to get travel insurance. We're going to be sending out something that says, yes, I'm getting travel insurance, because I don't want anybody to come back and say, I didn't know you wanted us to get travel insurance. I want us to all be very clear. We're suggesting Allianz Travel Insurance. They do cover all the costs, which means like if you prepaid for a trip, like an excursion or something, all of that is included in what would be covered in your insurance, including your hotel stay for your extended stay, which, if you got Princess, they will cover, as I was saying, the flights and all of those things. But if you're staying 2 more days, they don't pay for that unless you're at their hotel. So that's kind of the advantage, disadvantage of that. So we're going to really talk to that. We're going to just say, if you want a price quote, because some of you may have relationships already with somebody that you use for your travel insurance. If you want to use this one, just let us know and we can give you the quote, because it is not only based on where we're going, but your age, of course, is also. So that's why we can't give you a umbrella chart fee for how much it would be. Okay, Michelle? So the question was, she's looked online and her question was, is it the same if they go through us or if they just go directly? You go through us, you let us know in our number, and we're aware of what's happening. If you go with them directly, then that's kind of who you would need to talk.
It allows you to have the extra benefit of us as being one of their carriers of their insurance to battle with you.
Yeah, we can be your advocate.
Before, whose insurance was being challenged, And because we handled it, they went through us to get the insurance. We were able to talk directly with Alliance for them and make sure that they got the coverage refunded, because they were being told, no, you were out of this and you didn't give us this. And so because they actually booked through us, once they notified us, we were able to call Alliance for them and talk to them and get them all of the documents that they were needing above what they had to assure that they got their refund. So that's why we suggest, if you're going to go with them, let us know, let us do the quote so we can have paperwork and documentation.
I have a testimony about the insurance. I don't even know if you all know that when we came back in from Greece, we ended up in Philadelphia.
Right.
And there was a storm and we could not leave. They just would not take us out. So we ended up having to stay overnight in Philadelphia. And guess what? I was so excited because I got a chance to go see Mother Bethel. And we got a chance to see the Richard Allen
The statue.
It was a great time. We had a great time there. But they paid for it.
That's right.
The insurance company paid for it. So we had not made it back home. So they took care of it. Our expenses are.
Of course, that's the other piece of that is if you've got some issues, they'll pay for the hotel and and give you a per diem. So it makes sense. Please don't travel without travel insurance on this kind of trip. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
And the great news for you, Darlene, before you even state anything, your children's insurance is going to be free. They don't charge for children under the age of 12, so it'll just be for the adults. If you go through Alliance, it's free for the children. For your insurance.
When we have on your website to me a quote, and but I wasn't certain of which type, because you all said you full coverage, and I didn't see those exact words on the site. But so if you go through you all book it, we pay you, and you all pay them. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, it'll be just like everything else, just add on to our.
When I do the insurance, we will have to charge it immediately. So, but what you will have is we will select the insurance for you, what would be appropriate for your group. You will receive a quote in your email from Allianz, copied with us, and you will say, yes, book, give us that insurance, and then it will be covered. Yeah.
Reverend Karen, Reverend Marilyn, can you all repeat the question, please?
The question was, she said that she had gone online and looked, but she wasn't sure which one would give her the best coverage. And so our response to that is, when we assist with them, we try to make sure that people get the best coverage.
You will receive a quote from us before your insurance is purchased, and so you will get to decide, but we will send you a quote with multiple coverages from Allianz for you to choose from. And then your charge for that insurance will be paid immediately once you select it.
So if you are outside of Princess Cruise, the flight,
Yes.
cost of the flight, so it can be included in all of that?
Yes.
So the question is, if they're outside of Princess and they're looking at the insurance, so they send us the information, absolutely, so that we can make sure that it's all covered in terms of the price and the cost that people have spent.
The other part of that question, we would like for everyone to send us your travel information, even if you are not traveling through Princess Easy Air, so that we will know when our guests are coming in and so we can also track where you are and having information and knowledge of where you are on the days that you are supposed to be on the ship. If we don't have your air travel information, we don't know how to even begin to look for you. So even if you do not book through Princess Air and do an independent air travel, please forward us your itinerary so that we can have it a part of our information.
All right. So we want to make sure that Princess offer. You talked about travel insurance. It covers your cruise and air purchase only through Princess. So that's want to make sure you understood that piece of that. And their pricing structure, again, is kind of based on your a percentage of the cruise base rate. And so just to kind of give you an idea, I want to make sure for those of you who decided that I'm going to do everything through Princess, certainly your option, but just wanted to make sure you understood what was covered by that and what wasn't.
Before the eight, where it says 8% rate, that's their standard rate. If for some reason you have to be cancel or ask for a refund, they only pay on the 8% rate 75% of your money back. If you're doing the premium, it's 100% with them. And so you would look at the base rate is on your invoice. If you look at your first line on your invoice, where right across from your booking number, it shows the cost of your cruise ship. You multiply that number by either one of either the 8% or the 10%, and that will tell you your individual rate for your cruise for going through Princess Airlines for the insurance.
Any other questions on that? Are you saying something? Yes, and it doesn't cover any of your hotel charges not booked for Princess. Okay. Sightseeing. Woo! So just to give you, we were saying we wanted to give you all some options. So I'm hoping that you all have looked on Princess, that you've gone online. It has the excursions they offer, but we were also looking at some other things that you might be interested in. Anybody here like food tours? Done food tours? Anybody done food? See hands. Anybody has done food tours? Not many. Oh, it is such a great, fun way to see a city and try some things that you might not normally try. So this was the most highly recommended one in Auckland, called Big, no problem, Big Foodie Food Tours. It's a 3-hour food tour. And food tours are only walking tours. It takes you down some of the major streets, some of the areas, and they talk to you about the food as well as the area and the culture of the place, and understanding what they're doing, and so taste, fresh produce, and get a chance to talk to folks. And so it's just kind of fun. So I wanted to give people just some other options in terms of thinking about if you're going to Auckland in advance. Okay. And as my husband says, the food, the nice thing is somebody's already vetted where you're going to eat. He did one that was street food in India. And if anybody knows, my husband knows he's an absolute germaphobe. But our daughters had booked it. So when he found out it was street food, he was none too happy. However, the person who was doing it was like, we have never had anybody get sick on any of our tours. We look at them, we know how they prepare the food, all of that. And he did great. So, but I just wanted to kind of if that may be something you're interested in. Then they've got, a sightseeing tour. My concern is if you're coming in, it's a long flight. So whether or not you want to do a 3-hour walk is a concern, but probably need to. Then they've got sightseeing tours. It's 3 hours and you can get on a bus and kind of see the city that way. They've got a hop on, hop off bus. How many of you all do the hop on, hop off? I love them. Yes. So they do have that in Auckland as well. And it's a much more limited one, which I found interesting. They've got 2 routes in Auckland. And they're 1 hour each. So another good, easy way to see the city. And then for those of you who want to really do just are going to be there a couple of days and want to do a private tour, you can book that for about $250, I believe, for your group, and kind of for just limited number, and get a chance to really see more of Auckland if that's something you're interested in. But these are tours that are outside of what Princess offers, but to just give you some idea of what else is available if that's something you'd like to try.
We also recommend it, particularly of those who are traveling on Christmas Day, because you're getting in early. Most ships most planes are arriving between 9 and 10 a.m. arriving. So you have plenty of time to do like the half-day tour and still be on the ship by 4 p.m. In the afternoon. The question is whether you're, after flying 13 hours, if you can stay awake on a bus for 3 hours while you're doing the extra tour, but it at least gives you an opportunity to see some of Auckland and something for you to consider. This can be purchased through Princess Airline as well, where once you arrive there, they will have a tour bus available. And once you finish with the tour, they take you straight to the ship from there. So we will recommend that you purchase something. You want to see some of Auckland other than the trip from the airport to the ship. And we don't know what it might look like, but many times you're not even going through the city. You're doing a bi-coastal and you see nothing but warehouses otherwise. So that's an opportunity for you to at least see Auckland otherwise. Yes, ma'am.
The transportation people will keep your luggage somewhere until it's time to board the ship.
So if you do, the question was, will they keep your luggage? Yes, if you do it through Princess. So these are really much more for those who are going to come in a day or so earlier. But if you're going to come straight on the day of, then the one that Princess offers will keep your luggage, exactly. And then you'll be, won't have to worry about it while you're traveling.
They will transfer your luggage to the ship without you while you're on the tour. And just like normal, when you get to the ship, it will be placed at your room.
Okay. All right. Some options in terms of Sydney. Again, hop on, hop off bus. Theirs has 30 something stops, 2 different routes. And the one of them, which is kind of more the inner city part, which takes you to the harbor, the museums, the aquarium, the Botanic Gardens, and the big highlights of the city in Sydney. And then it also has another route that goes more toward the coast, so you can really see a lot of the city if you're interested in doing the hop on, hop off in Sydney. And almost everyone is staying at least one more day, so it gives you that opportunity. They've got 1 or 2 day tickets. They also offer a tour on a 1 day tour that actually the hop on, hop off bus will store your luggage for that 1 day if you want to do it that way, just getting off the ship and having the opportunity to see a little bit of the city. So they do at least have those options. Of course, no, this is South City then. Is this when you get off the ship? Before you go to the airport, correct. So this gives you some idea. And then, of course, Princess has some also that will make sure that your luggage is secured as well. So these are independent ones that we're talking about now. Other things in Sydney, because there are a couple of people who are staying a day or 2 days, up to 3 days. So you've got, a sunset dinner cruise if you're interested in doing something like that. Again, this is a food tour that was highly recommended in Sydney, which is called a gourmet getaway tour. And it's actually conducted by a local chef. And he does a whole thing where he cooks food, takes you to food, tries food, and takes you around the city using this, what they call the ultimate foodie day. So for those of you interested in that. And then there's another one in Sydney that was really very highly recommended, which is a tour of the Blue Mountains. So if you really want to get out of the city and see some other areas, you could do that. It'll take you up to the Olympic Park there, see some of the supposedly wilder animals of the kangaroos and the koalas that are in their wildlife park. You have lunch, ride the Skyrail, which really looks absolutely interesting, I would say, for those of you who have no fear of heights. And then it includes a cruise. So just give you an idea of kind of some other packages for particularly those of you who are staying over a couple of days in Sydney. Well, so the question is, are we going to do like we did in Greece, where we actually contracted with the bus to do a city tour? We can certainly also do that, but people are doing different amounts of days in Sydney. So in Greece, it was 1 day. So we knew anybody who wanted to do it, we're going to do it on that one day. This time we've got people who are staying 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. So they may decide they want to do the city tour on 1 day and or day 2 or day 3. We just said one. So she was saying it was at the port. It was at the port, but we only had 1 day. Yeah, we did it in Athens. We'll see. We'll see how we're going to do that in Australia. So the question was, are we going to do something combined in one of the ports? That we'll kind of look at that. Okay. Any questions? Oh, okay. You're fixing your glasses. So just on the ship, so that we're clear, people have already asked, are there any formal nights? Yes, there are 2 formal nights and what they call 10 smart casual nights. So Princess, they ask that you not wear, again, the cutoff shorts, dinner, and flip-flops. They just ask that you kind of come dressed, as they call it, smart casual. For us, however you'd like, that doesn't look like we're going to the beach. I think that will work just fine. And the formal nights is usually occur on the sea days.
And formal is
Formal, and so like this picture, formal really rarely now is long dresses and bow ties and tuxedos. So that's why we use this picture, because I thought it was a nice example of what formal could look like. Absolutely, no, they look cute. I'm telling you. Just as a reminder to everybody about your passport, all right? Passport is required, and it must be valid for at least 6 months after the completion of your travel, which means that please look at your passports, look at the dates that they expire, because they will not let you on the plane. If it does, even if it's a valid passport right now, but it expires within a month or 2 months. We don't need that. We've come too far with this. So please make sure. The other thing I'm going to ask, look at your passport and take a look at what the name is on your, that you've given us for your plane and all of the information on the ship. And make sure you get the same name. So you may have used a maiden name at one time and now you're using a married name, but just make sure that it's the same name, please. And then make sure which is easier to change, the name they give us or the name that's on the passport. The name they give us is much easier to change.
look at your passport and then tell us if we need to change the name on your reservation. That's the direction.
Good. Thank you. Make sure your passport has some blank pages and that it's not all the way full. So if you're not sure about anything, once you look at this, give yourself enough time that you're not running to Little Rock or Hot Springs, which is a place where you can get the closest place to get a passport from Memphis. Let's just make sure that we give ourselves lots of time if any issues with our passport. Okay?
All right, so this is, I know you're leaving, got it together. Everybody thinks it.
And can you have Reverend Robinson come to the microphone, please?
Okay, we're just saying that, I know this sounds funny to everybody, and it sounds very basic. Every single trip, we've had an issue with somebody realizing that their passport expires, it expired within a month or 2 months, and they got to the airport and couldn't get on the plane. So this is very serious. Please take a look at it. Making sure we know that there are no immunizations required for New Zealand or for Australia. However, we will have to get a visa for for Australia. And we will tell you probably within about 90 days, 3 to 4 months before our trip, that it's time now to go ahead and get our visas. Okay, so we'll make sure that everybody is aware of it and when we're going to do it. The visas are good for 1 year. So in case you decide that you're heading back to Australia, you love the place so much, that you're gonna run back next month, it'll still be valid. So I think for many of us, this is gonna be a one and done, but it'll be great. Reminder, what is currency exchange? Okay, question? The visa, the question was, are we handling the visas for the trip? The nice thing about this, are e-visas, so we don't have to send it away like we did for China. Right. So these we can go online and get them. Yes, so that's why we'll make sure that you have the link and get everybody moving at around the same time so we get the visas. Okay. Just as a quick reminder for currency exchange, on the ship, they use Australian dollars. So when you take a look at anything that you purchase on the ship, it will be in Australian dollars. And then we'll do the conversion to US dollars.
They do not use currency on the ship. It's just the value is Australian money. They only use the credit card on board. They don't exchange anything. You're not going to take a Australian dollar to anybody and give it to them on the ship. It's just like a normal ship where you don't use money, but the value of it will be equivalent of Australian dollars.
That is interesting about this cruise that I've never seen on any other is if you pay your final bill with a credit card, they do charge you a convenience fee. You pay it with a debit card, they don't charge it. If you pay it by cash, they don't charge it. This is when the cruise is over and they give you their final bill with your sticker shock. But there is a convenience fee. So I just want to make sure that you're aware in advance. Okay. It looks like it's about 2%. The question is, how much is it? It looked like it was about 2%. Okay. Just as some final reminders, our final payment for the cruise is due by, everybody please say this, July. So that everybody can say that I said it, I know it. Everybody, please. What'd you say? July.
Yeah.
Did I put July on there?
September, do not panic. September 15th. September 15th.
So don't say this. Okay, and I don't feel bad because I did it, but they both proved it.
I corrected it. Somebody uncorrected my correction. September 15th. Come on.
This is why we don't give this out at the meeting. We have to make the changes. All right. And $100 deposit was refundable up through February 28th. So at this point, we're finished with that. And as we said, remind you that this cruise line requires all payments made by credit or debit card. So everything else that we do, there's not an issue with that. Let me just say other information for Princess Cruise. We want to make sure that you register for your Princess loyalty number, which I think
it automatically registers you. If you didn't have one before, it automatically registers you, so you don't have to worry about that.
So you have a loyalty number. Periodically, I'm just going to suggest that you look at princess.com. It's log in on what they call your cruise personalizer, and all you need is, again, that booking number and your name, and you can go right into that. And look at excursions. You can purchase your internet package in advance if you want, and any other specials they may be offering. So which they will do kind of periodically. And then if you want to take a look at the ship online, you can easily do that as well. So now here's
Karen's slide right there.
Here's the, yes. Okay. All right. So the entire experience, all of our payments are expected in full by September the 15th. And then then you can start saving for what you're going to do there after that. Any other questions? Any advice anybody wants to give? Okay, so the question is, when we leave, or if we're leaving on
25th, what time do we have to leave? That we would have to take a look at what's available at the time that we're booking you. So yeah, so Sister Gloria, you're gonna sit with Karen, and let's take a look at the schedule. Okay. All right.
And the real key is not so much when you leave, but one time you want.
Time you get there.
Right.
So the key for this is not so much what time are you leaving, but making sure you get there on time. Uh-huh. So the question is, what is the weather like in Australia during that time? Go ahead. What were you going to say? It is summertime, but it looks like it's somewhere when we were looking at it between 60 and 80 degrees. Okay. Any other questions? Comments?
Yes, there's a question from the online panel.
Okay.
The question is, will there be cool t-shirts again?
There will surely be a shirt. Now, you know, we're into shirts. Absolutely. No problem. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Question is there a fee for baggage on the airline? Yes, it is. Now, generally, when you're flying internationally, I'm trying to remember now.
Nationally, it's normally free. 2 bags free traveling international. If you are doing any type of, I'm going to go to California first and stay overnight and then go, you might have a fee associated with whatever airline you're traveling with, unless your carrier allows you to have free. I'm a Delta free person, so I could do it then. But if it's international, directly Memphis to there, check your luggage all the way through, then they normally do not charge a fee for your luggage.
And I'm actually going to ask Rose, do you have anything to add to that? Rose? Yeah, so she's reminding everybody that the bag should not be over 50 pounds. And internationally, is it 1 bag or 2 bags free? It is 2 bags free. Okay, so it's the international portion of it, correct? As long as you're not staying over someplace else and starting another itinerary in the States.
Now, even though this is a 12-day trip, still be very mindful of your luggage, because you're going to be gone for 12 days, and some of you extended beyond that. You can consider washing online, because they do have available a washing machine on the ship where you can pay to have your luggage, your laundry washed for you. If you're staying, to save you some money versus you're carrying all of that with you. So that's an opportunity for you to be able to wash, on ship. Okay. Or have it washed for you, yes. I'm guessing so, but we can verify. The question The question was whether the onboard credit that many of you will have could be used or applied to laundry on the ship, and we will have to get confirmation on that. But usually anything you charge, your onboard credit can be applied toward it. So whether it is for you to have experience to wash your clothes, or shop in their areas of shopping, or in their specialty restaurants that are not included, that is an additional cost, you can use your onboard credit for it. But typically, anything you want to use it.
At how really wisely you can pack, what you can get, for any of these trips. So think through what you really would need. Rosie and Pastor Robinson and I are great examples of that. We did last year the river cruise from Paris to Normandy, and then another 2 days in Paris and London. So we were gone a total of 12 days. Our luggage got lost. So we never got it the entire trip. So all we had with us were our carry-ons that we had just put on the plane with us. And it was pretty amazing how well we did.
And we're going to go to time. We have our final meeting before we sail
talk more about it, but I don't want to delay it now. So any other questions related to your expenditures going, things that are associated with actual fine, and we will have one more meeting at a minimum before we depart in December.
Yeah.
So you have a question from online. The question is the onboard credit in the U.S. currency?
Yes, the onboard credit is, it's US. That's what they told us. That's what they told us, but we will verify that. Okay. All right. I think we have answered all of the questions. I hope we have given you enough information. Look for this probably tomorrow or so in your emails. Monday? Okay, look for it to Monday. Look for it Monday in your email and you'll have all of this information and correct it. But thank you all so much for being here. And we're so excited about this trip. As of right now, we still have 98 people going on the trip. Yeah, so this is really amazing. We're just so grateful for how this is going to work out and what we're doing. And I'll also say, if you still have people who are interested, we just, this is Florence, her sister just joined us over the weekend as a new person on the trip. So if you've got friends or family members who keep saying, gosh, I've been wanting to go to Australia, remind them it's not going to get any closer the longer they wait. So it's going to, and it's not going to get any less expensive the longer they wait. So this is a good time to go. Okay. So let's go ahead and close out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so then we definitely want to meet your person. All right, come on, let's stand up. 'Cause they got to close out the building.
United Way of Mid-South owns. It was donated to us about 4 years ago with all the furniture in the building and about $100,000 cash. So behind us is a very active factory of Georgia Pacific. This used to be their corporate headquarters. And so we're delighted to have you here. Our United Way offices on the 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor, we host below market rent rate leases for small businesses and nonprofits, generally minority and women-owned businesses on the 2nd floor. And this is the community room. We also use it as the boardroom for our United Way. Welcome. Thank you for coming today, and we're delighted you'll be here, and we'll see you again at the next meeting before we head out.
Okay. All right, hugs everybody. I am excited. Woo! Woo!
Excited. And no, we don't have time. No, we really don't. So
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
We opened in prayer.
Did everybody sign the roll? Everybody